Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Flash flood warning remains in effect for Jamaica. Hospitalizations from COVID-19 has hit another record. And later in sport, Cristiano Ronaldo leaves Juventus. I'm O'Shane Masters. Here are the details. A flash flood warning remains in effect for all parishes until 5 o'clock this afternoon. The Met Service says weather conditions are expected to return to near normal tomorrow. Jamaica is being impacted by the outer bands of Tropical Storm Ida, which formed southwest of the island yesterday afternoon. The National Hurricane Center in Miami says the storm is also expected to bring heavy rain, flooding and mudslides across the Cayman Islands, western Cuba and parts of the Yucatan Peninsula. Ida is forecast to strengthen steadily in the coming days and is forecast to become a hurricane near Cuba today. It's then expected to move over the southeastern and central Gulf of Mexico tonight and tomorrow before approaching the northern Gulf Coast of the U.S. on Sunday. Meanwhile, over in St. Anne, the K Valley Square has been rendered impassable due to flooding. In an interview with TVJ News earlier today, Mayor Sidney Stewart said a team from the municipal corporation will be visiting the area later today. In the meantime, he provided an update on other areas being affected in the parish.
The bridge at Union Town that borders St. Anne, Clarendon, is blocked, and that now has given us an overflow of water onto the street. So the streets are flooded. The team is going there this morning to do our own assessment physically of what we need to do in terms of a greater response. The disaster preparedness response team were activated in that area last night. I'm very happy to say that the police have been working with us consistently.
Meanwhile, as Tropical Storm Ida continues to dump showers across sections of the island, vendors in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth are optimistic that with today being the start of a second week of lockdown, sales will not be hampered. Details in this report. On Thursday, vendors in St. Elizabeth were sent packing early, not because of COVID measures, but due to heavy rains associated with what became Tropical Storm Ida yesterday afternoon. The heavy rains associated with the weather system caused severe flooding along a number of roadways in the parish, to include the Santa Cruz Market District. One vendor recounted her experience.
It affect me bad. Because the water come down, you see, run from the institution drive. We couldn't have to go through bush. We go on the yard last night, the water catch me on my body last night. And so we want some help down in the road down there, so we want Mr. Slowly to give us some dump up the place. He not going good, and he don't clean the drain. Fanny, put him in.
But despite the continuous rains, some remain optimistic that sales will not be impacted.
People come out this morning to buy?
Well, people come out because food want, because 3 days like they're not going to get stuff, have to come to food. Have to look food. If you don't look food here, you like without food. Hungry don't go kill you.
Holy people are come on, man. Holy people are come on.
Why do you think that?
Give God thanks and praise for the rise this morning, and we can do what we can do. No people don't come out yet, but God will go help them and can come out.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness 2 weeks ago announced 3 weekends of lockdowns as a measure to curb the rise in COVID-19 positive cases. In the meantime, the vendors are calling on their elected representatives to address the flooding issues in the town.
You want dig man and put the water underneath. Because when the water, the whole road flood. Anytime the storm come, the water come heavy, the whole road just flood out. And we can't walk.
Hospitalizations due to COVID-19 have hit yet another record. 739 people have been admitted with the respiratory virus. 61 are critically ill. This is up from 705 on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the total number of active cases is at 15,058. The island's COVID-19 positivity rate now stands at 41.9%. The country recorded 605 new cases of the coronavirus from 2,275 tests. The total case count is 64,899. And the virus also claimed 12 more lives for the period August 14 to August 25, increasing the death toll to 1,465. Persons seeking accommodation at the University of the West Indies for the upcoming semester must be fully vaccinated for COVID-19. Now, that's the word from Campus Registrar Donovan Stanberry. In a notice dated August 26, students were advised that they must take the jab by next Friday, September 3, to continue living on hall. The notice went on to say that evidence of this must be provided to relevant authorities. However, for students who have opted not to get vaccinated for religious or health-related reasons, they must provide the appropriate documentation to the university. Otherwise, they will be forced to leave. The university says its Student Services Office will assist with identifying housing solutions off campus as well as reimbursing students for the unused portion of their hall fees. It said in an effort to maintain a living environment safe for staff and students, the UWI has made the decision that only vaccinated people will live on campus. A vaccination entry is located on campus at the Mona Aging and Wellness Center. The Pan American Health Organization is advising caution in reopening schools for the 2021-2022 academic year. PAO's director, Dr. Carissa Etienne, says this approach should take into consideration the local epidemiological situation, which can change rapidly. Shamala Pullen reports.
More than 101 million children across Latin America and the Caribbean, including Jamaica, have been hit harder by school closures than their peers in any other region. That's according to the director of the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
With schools closed, children are more likely to experience violence, hunger, and mental health issues. So the sooner we can return to in-person learning, the better. Children and adolescents in Latin America and the Caribbean have also been harder hit by school closures than children and adolescents in any other region of the world, with over 101 million girls and boys being affected.
As a result, PAHO is therefore recommending that the reopening of schools be done in phases. At Wednesday's media briefing, Director of PAHO, Dr. Carissa Etienne, says this approach should take into consideration the local epidemiological situation, which can change rapidly.
So surveillance will be key to ensuring that reopening is done safely and that learning environments remain safe. Prior to reopening, countries must ensure that schools can maintain COVID-19 prevention and its control measures, such as social distancing, hand hygiene, mask wearing, and the safe and accessible transportation to and from school is also an important consideration.
Dr. Etienne says the region of the Americas continues to be the epicenter of the pandemic.
So PAHO has developed guidance for school reopening, and we are working with our member states so that this can be achieved as safely as possible. But ultimately, the safest way to reopen schools rests on countries' abilities to suppress transmission through vaccination and the implementation of these public health measures. And this is the only way that we can fully protect children, teachers, parents, and the community.
Shamala Pullen, TVJ News.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The highest court in the U.S. state of Maryland has agreed to take up the case of convicted Jamaican sniper Leeboyd Malvo and two others serving life sentences for crimes committed as youth. According to an order issued Wednesday, the Court of Appeals granted a bypass review in Malvo's case. It will hear arguments in January. Prince Moore has the details.
Malvo has claimed the 6 life without parole terms he received in Montgomery County, Maryland, have been rendered illegal by U.S. Supreme Court decisions. He argues that mandatory life without parole sentences are unconstitutional for juveniles except in rare cases. Malvo was 15 when he met John Allen Muhammad. Muhammad trained and indoctrinated Malvo, and in 2002 When Malvo was 17, the pair embarked on a nationwide killing spree that concluded with a 3-week rampage in Maryland, Virginia, and the District of Columbia that left 10 people dead and 3 wounded. Mohammed was sentenced to death in Virginia and executed in 2009. Maryland's Juvenile Restoration Act allows prisoners convicted as juveniles to petition a judge to be released if they have served at least 20 years. They must convince a judge that they no longer pose a threat to the public. Supporters said the new law gives prisoners a chance to show they have changed in the decades since committing terrible crimes.
And on a lighter note, a constable attached to the Sentence Bay Division is being hailed for his quick action in assisting a woman in the birth of her baby. Codian Barrett reports.
A young mother, Rondina Rose, recalls the night she went into labor.
I went to the bathroom and then I came out and the headwater burst. And my baby father helped me get on the bed. And same time the baby came out and he ran and started calling to get to move us to the hospital. And no one responded, so we called the police.
Around midnight on Friday, July 23, the Sentence Bay Police Station received a call that a female was in distress. Immediately, they headed to the location.
Upon arrival to that location, I saw 2 gentlemen came out of a house to us. One of them looking panic, saying, "Officer, I don't know what to say to you, but just come, please." And I got out of the vehicle and I followed him inside the house. He directed me to a room where I saw a female on the bed. You know, at the position, I realized that she was giving birth. The child was actually out already. I eventually tell him, "All right, get me some gloves, some sanitizer and all these things."
Constable Gabriel sprung into quick action. He instructed persons nearby on how to assist him. Once he was done, he checked to ensure the baby was okay and then rushed them both to the Sentence Bay Hospital, where she received further care. Luckily for Rondina, Constable Gabriel had previous experience from a similar situation a few years ago. The grandmother of the baby was determined to visit the constable, who she calls an angel.
So I decided that I had to come and find this angel who saved my daughter and granddaughter's life, because it wasn't for him, the daughter. Because due to the time when she delivered, no help, so I have to come and look for this angel Gabriel. And I'm glad that I met him and can't stop telling him thanks.
Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute. Here again is Codian Barrett.
In the economy, the construction sector for the April to June period this year saw growth by 18%. It coincided with an uptick in disbursement of mortgage loans. Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, Dr. Wayne Henry, says there was a double-digit increase.
Total sales of construction input grew by 57% in real terms. The growth in the building construction component was due to increased residential and non-residential construction activities, reflecting an estimated increase in the total value of mortgages disbursed by 35.2% and the total number of mortgages disbursed by 29.9%.
Insurers are reportedly facing a $330 million bill for losses caused by Tropical Storm Grace, which affected a number of countries, including Jamaica. Catastrophe risk modeler Karen Clark and company estimated that insured losses will be $300 million in Mexico and $30 million in the Caribbean. The estimate includes privately insured damage to residential, commercial, and industrial properties.
Now for the top regional and international stories. In the region, the Guyana government has warned persons caught with forged coronavirus COVID-19 vaccination cards that they will face the full force of the law as it rolled out the immunization campaign for children ages 12 to 17. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said if you steal one of those cards, then you can be charged for larceny. Earlier this week, police said they had arrested 3 men as they continue investigations into the alleged theft of several medical equipment and blank COVID-19 vaccination books from the Ministry of Health in Guyana. Haiti has launched an emergency alert program at the General Directorate of Civil Protection designed within the framework of the country's National Development and Recovery Plan. The launch follows the August 14 earthquake that has been followed by at least 600 aftershocks in the southern region, which was severely affected by the 7.2 magnitude quake and killing more than 2,200 people. Prime Minister Ariel Henry said the emergency alert program will bridge the gap between emergency and development between the short term and the long term. He said he believes that this mobilization of resources is all the more crucial since it concerns all the strategic needs. Tropical storm Ida is on track to become a major hurricane over the weekend. The current tropical storm was centered over Grand Cayman early Friday morning, moving toward the northwest at 15 miles per hour, with winds near 45 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center forecasts the system to pass through southeastern and central Gulf of Mexico Friday night into Saturday. By Sunday, Tropical Storm Ida will be nearing the U.S. northern Gulf Coast. By that time, the storm will be at or near major hurricane strength. Parts of Louisiana, including New Orleans, extending to the Mississippi-Alabama border, are under hurricane watch. And that's it for your top regional and international stories. And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report. Simon Preston is standing by.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. Manchester United have reached an agreement to re-sign Cristiano Ronaldo. The 36-year-old Portugal international will now undergo a medical before being unveiled as a United player again. This move ends his time at Juventus, where he scored 101 goals in 134 appearances in all competitions. He won 2 Serie A titles and 1 Coppa Italia with Juventus. In his first spell for Manchester United, he scored 118 goals in 292 games. During his 6-year spell, he won 3 Premier League titles, 2 League Cups, an FA Cup, the Champions League, and the FIFA Club World Cup. Staying with football, as Cavalier will be looking to move to the top of the Jamaica Premier League as they take on Mount Pleasant Academy at the Captain Horace World Centre of Excellence this afternoon. Cavalier are third in the table on 12 points, while Mount Pleasant are fourth on 11 points. Leaders Very United have 14 points. Kickoff is at 3:30 Jamaica time. At 1 o'clock, Dunby Holden will battle Humber Lion. In the early kickoff, Harbourview clipped Malines United 1-0. To track and field we go now as two-time Olympic. To cricket we go now as the Jamaica Tallawahs posted their highest score in the history of the Caribbean Premier League as they recorded 255 for 5 against the St. Lucia Kings in match number 3 at the Warner Park Sports Complex in St. Kitts. Andre Russell top scored for the Tallawahs with 50 off 14 deliveries. This was also the fastest half-century in the history of the CPL. Kennard Lewis also chipped in with 48, while Chadwick Walton made 47. Obed McCoy took 3 for 52 for the Kings. At sports time, the Kings had reached 105 for 6 after 10 overs. CPL action continues this evening as the Trinbago Knight Riders battles the Barbados Royals at 6 o'clock. The Tallawahs will face the Royals in their second game of the tournament on Saturday. And finally, this afternoon, 2 Jamaicans have been named in the West Indies under-19 squad ahead of their tour of England next month. Justin Beckford and Andel Gordon are the 2 Jamaicans in the 18-member contingent. The West Indies will play 6 50-over encounters against England starting on September 4. The Caribbean side will host the ICC Under-19 World Cup next year. And that is where we'll pull up stumps for now. For your midday sports report, I'm Simon Preston. Ashane, it is over to you.
Thanks, Simon. And that's the Midday News. I'm Shane Masters. Join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, good afternoon.